Felicity from GetYourRockOut, and I'm here chatting to Paolo from Trivium. How are you today?
Doing very well. I just got a fresh espresso. I'm good.
Honestly, like, everything in life can be fixed with a decent espresso.
Yeah, that's what I've learned is, like, pretty simple. If I can get coffee, I can do anything.
Yeah. No food, no water, no beer, but coffee and everything in the world is good.
Definitely. Especially at a festival. Good coffee goes a long way.
Not like the instant crap that's basically like brown water. So we are of course here at Bloodstock, and this is your first UK headlining experience, which is just incredible, and there is really no better place to be doing it than at Bloodstock.
Yeah, it's amazing for us. I mean, it hasn't really kind of set in yet because I'm just used to playing festivals, and we've worked our way up the bill, but it's weird when you kind of get to the top of the bill because it doesn't it's not a normal thing yet. So it's cool for us. I mean, this is making history for us. So we're really excited. We rehearsed for a month, so we're ready to go. Yeah.
Wow. And so even though you guys you've been around and you've done so many exceptional shows and tours, and you're no stranger to this, but has this still really kind of made you think, good grief, this is incredible, and kind of up your game even more?
Yeah. I mean, the goal every time we go away and come back is that we want to be better. So the only way to do that is to personally practice more and rehearse more as a band. I mean, like, anytime I'm ever asked, like, what advice can you give to bands, that's it. Rehearse a lot. Be as good as you can be. I mean, you can look around on YouTube. There's amazing players out there, like, a lot. I mean, guys that are light years beyond what I can do, even younger than me, but it's not even just rehearsing for that. It's just that you need to be better as a band. You need to be comfortable, and you need to, as a unit, be out there firing on all cylinders. And at this level, you're closing a show. You're responsible for making sure people go home and are like, that festival was awesome. That was a great night. You're the last thing they're going to remember for the day, at least for us. And we want to make sure we live up to that standard of being the headliner.
That's fantastic. I think there are so many bands that kind of headline festivals nowadays. It's just like, we're headlining a festival, so what? We've got to the top, we don't need to try anymore, and it's great to see that you're not feeling like that. Yeah,
I mean, I can only say that I can thank, a band like Metallica or Iron Maiden for that, because doing the shows with them, doing the festivals with them, the one thing I've learned is that no matter how big you are, like, there's a responsibility of being great. And I mean, we did the tour with Iron Maiden back in 2006, and they were incredible. And then you see them now; they're still headlining festivals, headlining stadiums, and they're still, like, I think the thing is they still enjoy it, which is the big part of it. I think the bands that start to, like, take it for granted is because they don't really enjoy the situation anymore, and you just kind of settled into not liking it but doing it anyway, whereas, like, we're really into what we do. We love the band, we're fans of our own band, so we want to make sure it's great, and we want to, I like going up there knowing that, like, I'm confident playing the stuff and that I can have fun. I'm not, like, sweating it, and that to
comes
me,
next.
I like, that's how I like to be. That's just the mindset.
Brilliant. And do you think that as a band you would ever carry on if you did stop enjoying it, or would that be the end for you?
I mean, I can't say for everyone, but I mean, there were moments in our career so far that, like, when we had, like, problems that happened where I was like, well, if this isn't, like, gonna be this way, it isn't gonna be fun, like, then I don't want to do this. And, like, I think I would have gladly walked away doing what we had done and being happy that it was good, than stay with it and not let it be fun anymore. It's just not worth it. It's like, at the end of the day, your life is more important. Being happy is more important. So if this band wasn't a fun thing, if it was a negative experience, I wouldn't be here, and that, I don't want it to ruin music for me, because I'd rather, like, walk away from this and still love playing than be jaded and still playing.
Well, I think that's great, and it's really, really good to see that you have obviously got such a passion for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, are you still as much of a music fan as you were when you started this?
I think probably more so. I think I understand where a lot of things come from. Aside from just listening to a lot of music, I like to read a lot about bands, about people I look up to that have influenced me. I think I'm more interested now in their thought process of why they wrote stuff they wrote, as opposed to just like, oh, I love that CD. Now I want to know, well, why did they make that CD? What was around? What was the thing that inspired it? Or who worked with them? And who are they? And what have they worked on? And it's like, I was always a fan of history in school, and now it's like that love of history kind of came into the music side of things for me, is that I love the history of music and why things were the way they were, and how things that happen now like have already happened or been reflected, you know, like changing to streaming and stuff like that. Well, like, you know, like to me that's really interesting, and it helps me understand why I'm writing what I write. I guess when you know more about it, it's like the more knowledge you have, the more you have to draw from, and that just comes from just doing this all the time. You know, that's the thing I'm thankful with, is that, you know, most people, you know, they can play their music, but it's like to play it for a living, it's like you're immersed in it all the time, and you know, you either grow to really love it all, or, you know, maybe at some point you're just like, this is too much for me, I need something else. So
I think a lot of bands that have been kind of going as long as you guys have found the transition to the whole digital age being what it is now really difficult. But you guys just seem to have embraced it with both hands. I mean, you know, you do so much video stuff and teasers and all of this, and real fan interaction with it. What's
kind of crazy for me is, like, I guess I consider myself a child of Napster. You know, that was I was buying what's oddly enough, like, my favorite band, Metallica, at the time, still is one of my, you know, the favorite band. And it's just funny because I was a massive fan of Metallica, and then the whole Napster thing happened, and I thought the whole idea of Napster was incredible. Like, it was just revolutionary that music could come through the computer and you could download it. So it's kind of like this weird irony of my favorite band, Napster was really cool, and I thought it was awesome, you know, and then it was just kind of like the awkward, like, Metallica Napster thing happening, and I'm just like, all right, it's kind of weird, but I guess I look back on it all a little bit differently than bands that are maybe 5-10 years older than us.
I guess because you're nearly just at the transition point.
It's like, I remember buying CDs for like $18-20, and it's like, well, the only reason that they're $18-20 is because the label set the price. So it's kind of like to look back on it, like the glory days, it's like, well, you kind of had people by the balls there with the price. So unfortunately, technology, like it always does, if something can be done cheaper, more effectively, it's going to change things, and you learn to deal with it. And I think Spotify, I think all the streaming is amazing, but I love Spotify. I am on there all the time. I listen to full albums like daily, and it's just, as a music lover, there's nothing better than that. And for people that are casual music listeners, I think it's engaged them more. And that's like, that's the thing, is like, I get really like I see other bands talking about it, and like they just don't understand like the progress that it could really make. And it's like, I get the payment thing is a real like sticking point for people, but I think the amount of people listening to music is way more than it was when CDs were like $20, you know.
Definitely.
And we put out a video like a week ago, and it's got like 600,000-700,000 views on YouTube, and like that wouldn't happen, you know. We'd have to wait for our video to hopefully be on MTV2 at like midnight, and how many people are watching that at that point, you know? So it's broken the glass. It's like there's no ceiling for how many people you can reach.
No, it's true, and and the sheer diversity of stuff that's on there as well, because it's so much easier to find people that are quite similar to things that you're listening to that you might also like. And there was never anything like that before, apart from reviews by a select few people in a select few magazines.
Yeah, it's made it's like the catch-22, because you've gotten everyone involved, so everyone has their opinion on things. But I'd rather people be listening and discussing the music and like have it out there. I can share music that's brand new or old with all of my fans on Twitter. You know, 50,000 people will say, hey, I'm listening to this album, and if they've never heard it, they can go check it out. Or you're just spreading all this like knowledge for people. And I guess the only tricky thing now is that there's just so much access to everything. It's just kind of like a cacophony of information. But as things kind of sort out and get better and better, it's like, I think it's amazing. I mean, I just, to be able to have the music I want to listen to right now, no matter what, or it's just like, I saw Nuclear Assault play today. It's like, well, maybe now, like, because I saw him, I'm like, hey, let me go check it out, and I can save the album right then and there. It's like instant, and that's the best.
Fantastic. And yeah, I mean, you said that you put a video out just last week.
Yeah.
Really exciting news. There is indeed a new album coming, and like people seem to have been so impressed with what you've put out so far. So I'm guessing that you're just a little happy with the response you've had.
Very excited. I want people to hear more, you know. If it was up to me, I'd release the album right away. You know, I think it's like you put a long time into it, and you just want it to be out, and you want people to hear it and stuff. And I guess like releasing it slowly with like videos and stuff makes it a little bit more exciting. But it's just like you put a lot of time in, you want people to hear it right away. You know, 'cause it's so much more than just the one song.
You need to stop pirating your own music.
I know. I'm sure Roadrunner will love that if I did it.
Yeah, I think they'd be really on board with that. You know, you can just do a couple of illegal rips for yourself, spread them around.
Get Napster back online to get it out there.
Brilliant. And you've kind of changed back producers for this album.
Yeah.
And so how's that worked out? I mean, are you really happy with that decision?
Yeah. I mean, we've been discussing this album for so long that like the producer discussion came a lot later because we wanted to know what we wanted to do before we got with someone. Not that a producer comes in and shapes where the album's going to go, but like we're very open with our producer. We like them to come in and hear things and not feel afraid to be like, well, you know what, if you guys changed this key or did something different, it would be better. Or what I really like is when a guy is straight up like, that's not a good enough part, or this song's not strong, because you can come back and you can make something even better. I mean, it happened on this record. There was a song where it was just like the middle wasn't happening, and like we kind of figured, I just pretty much was like, hey, you know, give me a weekend with this thing. Gotta go back, you know, to the drawing board. And I came back the next week when we started rehearsing again with Elvis, and the song, by the way, is, I think it's called Beneath the Sun. And it was just like I had the new part for the middle, and then it was just like instantly it became another song because it had the thing that it needed to like be sold, to be like, yeah, this needs to be on the record now, as opposed to, well, maybe this one isn't going to be on the record. And that's what it takes. You got to have someone that's not going to like bullshit you with that stuff.
Yeah. Yes, everything you do is amazing. Don't change a thing.
I mean, a lot of guys are like that. They want to be told they're great. So I know that I'm good, but I know that I can do better if someone's like, that's not good. So I'd rather have that advice and be like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that. Because there's many times in our career in the past where you're like, wow, I wish someone would have told me like this isn't a good idea. And so now that's the big thing, is like you learn that lesson, is that you need to listen to people sometimes, other than yourself or like the immediate band.
Well, that's good. It's obvious that you're still grounded with it all, which I think is really important.
When you don't do well and people let you know, it's easy to come back to the ground, you know?
Yeah, very true. Internet trolls have their uses on occasions, right?
Yeah, you get grounded quick, so.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the show is going to be amazing. I have absolutely no doubt, and it's great to see you here.
Very pumped.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And I really hope that we'll see you back here at some point soon.
Yeah, we'll be back as soon as we can.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Real pleasure.